Welcome ladies and gentlemen to a K5 Haulamania video. I can't believe what I found this month. It's not massive, but it's okay. Let's check it out. Well, right off the pegs, as you can see in the back line up there, we've got a load of majorette cars. Yes, I have got all these cars already in my collection, but I could not resist the special offer going on at Tesco's right now. You want to get down there, the 3-pack, £3, and the premium singles all going for £1. Don't know how long this offer is going to last for, but I'm guessing it's until they run out of stock. So yeah, get your bums down there. And another special offer was these cars here. These are the Mattel 155 Fast and Furious cars. Yes, indeed, they're on special too at Asda. It's the only place you can get them from other than the Entertainer. Entertainer, they cost £6.99. Asda going for the miraculous price of £4. Absolutely, and I had to get myself this rip off. And I looked straight into it. I really want. I wanted to take some out since I bought it, so check it out. Wow, there it is in all its gory detail. Interesting, it's got something moved inside there. Wow, look at that. Can you see what's inside there? Oh my word. It's like a kind of a Chinese bogey of some sort. That's interesting. Did not expect to see that inside my my ripsaw. But moving along, it's got a rotating turret on the top there with some kind of that's a kind of rubbery actually material, which is cool. So it's nice and flexible. Got some kind of machine gun on the top there for blasting the enemies as you're zipping along. And this is actually based off of a real vehicle. The US Army are currently testing this vehicle out as a potential vehicle. They're running it along to see how they're going to fit it into their arsenal. And it appears in the Fast and Furious film, and I think I can't remember his name, DS or something like that. He chooses it as his vehicle of choice from the arsenal available to him from the secret stash of vehicles. Few detail issues on it. Yeah, these filled-in tracks. I guess they've used that because of all the little parts that it would have had. I believe that the 118 scale or 124 scale Jada model has all this in plastic, and it looks really, really good. But for the purposes of this particular 155 scale piece, that's what they've done there. They've basically filled it all in and put little wheels on the bottom there. Let's see how it actually rolls. It seems to roll okay, actually. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Now these things are top speeding out at, they reckon, 110 miles per hour or thereabouts. But I know in the film that they run them at sort of 60 miles an hour. They do all sorts of stunts and crazy stuff with them. So yeah, a pretty damn cool vehicle. The US Army model also has this piece removed and uses it as a flatbed. And right in the middle of the vehicle, down inside there, is the engine. So pretty cool mid-engined tankette, I'm going to call it. This Maserati Ghibli. Wow, got to check it out. Take it out. Also, Toys R Us. They're another seller of this line. As yet, they still have not gone into sale mode on these, but you can buy the 3-packs there, which are pretty cool. And that's where you can get hold of the Mustang, which I really like too. So here's the Ghibli. You go around there, check out some of the details. Lovely grille, front grille details. Not inserted headlamps. It's actually better out the box than it is in the box. And when I was looking in the sale section, this one was a peg warmer. So this is, you're going to be able to find yourself a Ghibli, a Ghibli or Ghibli, depending on your how French you want to go, or Italian, probably Maserati. Very, very nice details. So look on the base there. Yeah, I'm loving what Mattel have done with this. Very cool piece. Nice paint. Very cool indeed. And a little bit of a green on green there at the back. Box as well, we found ourselves a Hot Wheel, just a recolour on the Ford Focus there. It was white, it is now black. Poundland picked up this green engine, number 5, as you can see on there. Very interesting, lovely piece. Oh, this one seems to be an error as well, just typically, but I've already mashed up the card, but there you go. And the star of the piece of the day for me was getting one of these. Now I did find 2, for some reason I can't seem to find the other one, so I think I've stashed it in my car somewhere. I forgot to unstash it. So here's the beautiful Hudson Hornet police car. There it is with the 4 doors, unit number 1. They've done a great job on this. It's just lovely matchbox work. I'm guessing this is going to go nicely with the little Buick. If you remember, they did a Buick Highway Patrol car not so long ago, in black and white. I got myself a few of those as well. So I'm looking forward to having this as the main sheriff car. Fantastic! Look at that. I'm not sure how American police force runs itself, and especially in MBX Valley, but they can have a sheriff and a couple of highway patrollers, I'm sure, from the same period. Very, very nice. So pleased to finally have bagged this one. I was on Instagram and I came across Canam Customs, as you do. He's a friend of mine on Instagram, and he was just weirdly enough, he was selling something. First of all, I'll show you what came in the box with it. We've got this little Weetabix Aston Martin. I'm not too sure, I think it was just used as ballast. But Weetabix is actually just based about 3 miles down the road from me. So, but this is this piece has seen better days. The Aston Martin DB6, I believe that one is. Yeah. But here's the meat and potatoes of the mission. Here it is. Wow. This is the Fiat Abarth from, I believe, around about 1980, 82, something like that. So made in France, Majorette in 153 scale. Auto Bianchi. I suppose it's not. Is it a Fiat? Well, it's an Auto Bianchi anyway. Whatever that is, that's what this is. Awesome. Also, it has a little lifting rear there. Fantastic for getting all your shopping and your tyres in and all the other bits and pieces. So what made me think this was a Fiat? I have no idea. Doesn't even look like one. Looks more like a Trabant or something, doesn't it, with that front end. Auto Bianchi. Fabulous. Unusual nonetheless, and in fairly good condition as well. A few minor little dinks on it, nothing really that I'm worried about. beautiful thing. And staying with the majorettes, I was at the market and I managed to find this piece here. Now this is something I've been after for ages. Absolute beauty, little Citroen Diane, the kind of racing version of it. And the Citroen Dianes and the Citroen 2CVs, they partake in a special race amongst themselves, and also they compete in Paris-Dakar, cross-country, sand rallies, all that kind of muddy stuff. And this is a representation of a vehicle that would have taken part in such things. I think they still race today, even, albeit not probably as prolifically as they did in the 80s. Nice little additional, probably a fuel can on the side there. I would have thought probably more likely to be water. Wouldn't like to carry my fuel like that unless I was in a tank, maybe. Let's just check the base, made in France at 160 scale. So another piece in pretty good nick as well, same kind of condition as this one, from around about the same period as well. Let's see what we've got in there. Both of them in really pretty good condition given their age. A random grab tat session. First up, we've got this late Matchbox International super fast tractor. I wouldn't exactly call it fast, but it is fairly good. I think that cost me like 20p or something like that. Found this little growler. I think it's called growler. E-type Jag, yeah, growler. Unfortunately, the back wheel is a bit woohoo. Kind of goes with that Aston a bit, and it's got growling potential. Opening bonnet. This is a Hot Wheel. Look at the graphics on there, pretty cool. Some like a skeletoid person sitting in there. Almost looks like this could be a colour changer, but it's in pretty ropey condition. I picked it up because of these wheels. I think they're called screechers or something like that, and they go down the track and screech. So it's an unusual piece. Plastic body, metal base, probably from, well, when is it, 1988, so something early 90s there. Again, very worse for wear. I'm not sure exactly what that is. I initially thought it was a Crown Vic, some kind of Ford, I would say, but some from 1989, Malaysia, very mashed up. Here's an interesting one. This is looks like a corgi taxi. It's got opening doors, a little bit chipped away. Interesting wheels. And when I flipped it over, it's made by a company called Juniors, made in China. So I'm guessing it's an old corgi casting that's been taken off and recast. I mean, this could even be the Matchbox. I'm not 100% sure. Very similar, both pieces. But there you go, it's a taxi from my taxi collection. Oh dear, this is way mashed up. This is a some kind of Jaguar Mark 10. There we go. So it's quite an old Jag from the 60s. It's made by Husky. So it's pretty old, but it's really mashed up. I think it is actually beyond saving, that one. There you go. Interesting plastic wheels. It's very cheap Husky. Husky, of course, only available from Woolworths back in the day. So no, that one there's probably from around about 1963 or 64. Pretty old. Here's some weird stuff. This is some kind of Chevy. Probably looks like a 57 Chevy. Very odd. Made in China, I believe. Yeah, there it is. Absolutely crazy looking. And it's got a little crazy looking bro. There it is. I just picked them up because there was a pair of them. I mean, they're just mad looking. But good quality old China stock stuff. Probably from, I don't know, late 60s or thereabouts. And staying with the crazy 50s, here's a Hot Wheel. Looks like an early release Hot Wheel from, I don't know, on the base there it says 1981, so it's probably from about 82, 83, I'm not sure. I just recognise it as being quite an early piece, and this one again is pretty mashed up. Yeah, you see a lot of these. This is up for a revival, some kind of rejuvenation possibly. A very hairy looking Mercedes. That's a 320 or something. 380 SEL. There we go. Made in Thailand of all things as well. Yeah, it's in a pretty bad way actually. A bit worse than I remember. But anyway, there you go. It looks like a Matchbox. The wheels look like a Matchbox. Even the tampos are a bit Matchboxy. Very nice tampos on it. It's an Audi, of course. The Audi Quattro, famous 1980s track star, killer of all. But this is the Maisto version, Audi Quattro. So there's that. Very nice piece actually. Kind of got it to go with my Matchbox versions, which I have a fair few of now. I like the inserted headlamps on there. This is fairly good quality Maisto. Check this out. She Snail is going to go mental on this one. This is the Corgi Juniors Whiz Wheels Pininfarina Modulo. And yes indeed, now this really does look like something that little Alex would drive around in. Fabulous stuff. It's a shame that the tampo on the back there's very, very worn. In fact, the whole car's a little bit worn out. And again, this is well and truly up for restoration. I'd love to probably do this one up as a proper little Clockwork Orange car. Fantastic. Goodness those. I think that when the people drive this one, they have to lie down. Seriously have to lie down to actually just to get in that cockpit. That is super low. You can compare it to the Audi. Look, I mean, come on. It's like a bed on wheels. Absolutely brilliant. A few little cockpit issues there with the windscreen, but other than that, I mean, it's got potential. This piece here, this is from the market. It's a very interesting one. This is a Maserati 4CLT 1948, number 52A from 1961, I believe. Saw service right up to 66, and it was replaced by the BMC. So that's another car I don't have yet. So I'm starting to collect my 52s now. There we go. Look at that. It's actually in pretty good condition. It's not a rare piece, but it's all there. It's absolutely fantastic. Of course, number 52, this is the unrarest colour, unrarest number that you can find. The rare one is the red one. So obviously if I was going to do it up, I'd probably paint it red, give it the proper number. Of course, this car in 1948 was the Grand Prix winner. Used to win all the races along with the Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari in the day. Front engine, Formula 1 edge, fantastic. Of course, no video would be complete without a bus. Boom! And here we have a number 5. I think this is number 5C. So this is the number 5C and then number 5D. All they did was put an interior in the same casting, and they changed up this. If you can see the front cab there, the engine where the driver sits is a separate piece. They incorporated this piece into the whole casting. But I think I've got a few of these now, and I pretty much bought it just to make up. I've got a tenner's worth of cars basically, and I just said, go on, do me that one for 50p, and that's what he did. So there we go. That's the tat. I found some FC. Oh yes. Now the FC, an interesting brand made in Holland, as you can see. Established. Ooh, blimey, early 60s. We're making little cars from about 66 onwards. They made Model T Fords in 66, but in 1971 they changed up the casting and they started producing these. So this car, in all likelihood, is from around about 1971. Now they're not particularly rare, actually. I thought they were rarer than they were, but when I started looking at the numbers, they basically made over 4 million Model Ts. And then the Model T comes in all sorts of shapes and flavours. And as you can see, this is the pickup version. Basically, I'm showing this one first because this is the most basic piece. It's basically, take away this hook, and every single one of the Model Ts is basically this chassis, upper body with the mud guards, the chassis and the radiator is all in one piece, and then all the wheels are all just clipped on the base, as you can see, with one rivet there, and then one rivet holds on the piece of interest, and in this case it's the hook. Now this I've seen this hook assembly available on the Land Rover, so if anyone's got the Land Rover out there with the hook on the back, it's the same piece. And a little customizational hook there, I didn't put that on, someone else did, but I think I'm going to put my own interpretation on the back there. But it is functional and it will pull stuff along. So that little Formula 1 car, let's check it out. Oh yeah, it will move. This is the van. This van is very popular, actually. I've been showing them on Instagram, and the van, funnily enough, got all the likes. All the other vehicles have been getting likes, but this one seems to be the big winner out of all of them. It's not my favourite, but it is a nice piece, and it says on there, Hovis bread, Bradshaw's Bakery, fresh bread daily. Fantastic. And it's got a few hands there holding up some lovely loaves of fresh brown bread. Lovely stuff. But this one unfortunately suffers, and it's the only one that does, suffers from, it's not catastrophic, but it is fairly winky wonky suspension on the back there, which is a shame, and hopefully I will be able to repair, but I haven't attempted it yet because I don't want to damage the rest of the piece. And the other thing about all of these cars, they all came with stickers. It took them quite a while to remove the sticker residue, and the other thing that they all had on them was copious amounts of dust. This piece is absolutely gorgeous. This is the I don't know, sort of Landau, or I've been calling it a sedan. This is that variation, and as you can see there, quite simply, they're basically the same car, same casting, but instead of this crane piece, he literally plonked on the cabin at the back there, which goes all the way around and sits on the base. There you go. The thing about these cars, and the reason I picked them up, is they're just a little bit different to the normal old-fashioned cars that you find. You'll see Lado, and there's a Japanese brand, and as fine as they are, they're just a bit plasticky, and the wheels are all plasticky and horrible. These have got lovely open wheels. They've got separate tyres on them, and the scale is really, really good. So here's a 160 Citroen. Sits really nicely next to that. Now in the reports I've looked online, had to look online to find out what's going on with them. It says they are actually 164. So here's a Maserati Ghibli. Sits quite interestingly next to this, and this is probably 155. I'm going to say these are more 155 than 164, just because I have stood next to a Model T in my time, and they're not massive, but they're not titchy either. So this is your 164 Thunderbird Ford. There you go. It's kind of, I mean, it is smaller, as you can see, so it's a cool piece. It's nice and heavy, metal on metal, they're all the same. And this for me is the star piece of this find. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, but I just wanted to find one of these, and I found it straight away. Yes, the Model T coupe. I guess it's a coupe. Brilliant. Obviously we'll have a little seat in the back there for your passenger. Room for some luggage in the middle. Absolutely stunning. And this piece, was really badly covered in dust. It was so dusty, in fact, that the all the wheel arches were white, and that is just disgusting. And there was even a spider living in the roof. But I've cleaned it all up, and it's got the most minor amount of damage. You can just see there, tiny little chips on the paint. But I must say, from 1971 to well, we're in 2017 right now. That is just brilliant. So it's been sitting on someone's shelf, getting covered in skin deposits, all other disgusting stuff. But that's okay, it's cleaned up beautiful. On the upside though, there was no nicotine, so whoever it was flaking away was not a smoker, which is great, because all the plastic in there is all the right colour. Beautiful things, and there you go. You will not believe this. Right, I found this batch of cars for the price that is on the box, and the price on the box is from an old newsagent that closed down probably about 10 years ago. Last time I saw one of these newsagents. Dylan's newsagent. Check that out, £1.25. The guy sold them to me for £1.25. So basically, essentially, these are all new cars. Probably in when is it? Let's have a look on the back there. 1994. So these are all from the Tommy Matchbox period. So they're not the bee's knees. These aren't the ones that people want to collect. But to be fair, for a brand new car, unpunched card, how can you go wrong? Now, I've picked this car up a few times in my life, and to actually get one that is super mint is just awesome. I've got one that isn't too bad, but now that is just way better than not too bad. So we'll go through all of these. The 959, my word. Now that is a beautiful car, isn't it? Obviously the real thing is amazing. I'm not going to open these up. Oh no, there's no point. I've got them all loose, I think. But it's great to see them in their box mint. It's just amazing, really. Check this one out. This is the Jaguar XJ220. They're all numbered still, back in the day. Number 26 here. That's really nice, look. Of course, the 220 was called the 220 because it could go 220 miles per hour, apparently. I remember it being the supercar to watch out for back in the day. They didn't make an awful lot of these though. I think the Coventry plant where they were building them, it kind of went bankrupt before they could really really exploit the potential of this particular car. What else we got? Oh, we're going to finish up with some nice. So we got the Countach. Again, another piece that I actually do have. I've got a green one of these. There's a red one. Of course, Hot Wheels doing the red one right now in their Lamborghini Memorial Collection. Now, these old Tommy models are a bit something about them which is a little bit cheap and nasty. Come in these special day-glow boxes and all sorts. It's just so 1994, brilliant. This is before Mattel bought them up. And here's a lovely Ferrari. This is the F40, I believe. Yep, there it is. Number 70. Beautiful thing. absolutely mint. Do my best to look after the boxes on these ones. And finally we ended up on number 75, the Testarossa. Whoa, look at that. This is one I don't think I actually have loose in my world. So yeah, there we go. I don't think I've got that jag either. Beautiful thing. So yeah, these are probably from around about between 94 and 96 when Matchbox got sold off. It's like the last of the old Matchboxy sort of cars that you could buy back then. And I think some of these castings are still kicking around now, actually, in the Matchbox lineup. Although I haven't seen them for a while. Anyway, that is definitely it. Thank you for tuning in as usual. Thank you for everybody for all your watches. Thank you for subscribing, liking and commenting. It's really good to talk to everybody, and hopefully I will get a few more vids done, because I've got a few in the pipeline, but life keeps conspiring against me. Ta-ta for now.